So in Uganda, some of the fiercest fights aren't happening in parliament. They're happening inside of people's homes around the question of who is and who isn't a child's father. So in the eastern town of Nabamule, clan leader and mayor Moses Kutoy is getting pulled into those very disputes. So men are coming to him angry and suspicious, pointing to children who don't look like them and demanding answers, even though raising that question used to be taboo. Kutoy reminds them that even he doesn't resemble his own father, yet he was still chosen as the family heir and clan leader because in traditional practice, once a child was accepted into the home, that was the end of the story. So that quiet norm is now colliding with modern science. Uganda's Ministry of Internal Affairs runs a government-accredited DNA lab in Kampala, and officials there say that of the people who come in for voluntary DNA tests, about 95% are men, and in more than 98% of those cases, the results show that the man is not the biological father. And they describe these outcomes as just like heartbreaking and warn men, don't look for DNA proof of paternity unless you have a strong heart. At the same time, private testing centers have sprung up across the country, plastering ads on radio and billboards. A single test at the nearest private lab to Nabamule in Mbale can cost the equivalent of more than $200, far beyond what many families can afford. So couples often show up at Kutoy's compound instead, usually when their marriage is already on the brink of collapse. The surge in paternity questions has become a crisis of faith too. At last year's Christmas service, Uganda's Anglican Archbishop Stephen Kazimba pointed to the story of Jesus' virgin birth and to Joseph's decision to raise a child who was not biologically his, urging Christians not to rush into DNA testing and to care for the children in their homes. Other pastors echo that message, saying African tradition has long treated any child born in the home as your child, regardless of genetics. But in modern Uganda, paternity is also about money and law. DNA disputes now show up in inheritance fights and divorce cases, from wealthy professionals in Kampala to rural families arguing over land and school fees. So beneath the science and the shock, Uganda is wrestling with an old question in a new way. Is fatherhood defined by blood, by tradition, by the law, or by the choice to love and raise a child who calls you dad? If you found this helpful, make sure you're following the show so that you don't miss the next breakdown. Hit follow, tap subscribe, and stay plugged in.